Hey everybody, it's your boy the Tice Man here. I got myself a coach's hat here, looking to start the playoffs. I'm looking to take your team to the Super Bowl because this is my head coach's hat. I got it on. We are going to take your team to the Super Bowl. But right now, we have to talk about something that happened last night in last night's game between the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it is considered a controversial play at the end of the game. Uh, the referees apparently made a bad decision on the fact that they called a number 70 eligible receiver compared to the person who caught the football for a 2 point conversion, number 68, as was not eligible according to the refs. So it was considered a illegal play. So let's give you a little bit of a breakdown. Normally, when it comes to plays like that, when it comes to receiving the football, the players that are eligible to catch the football are wide receivers, tight ends, the running back, and believe it or not, the quarterback can be considered an eligible receiver. They're in the game. Normally, an offensive lineman will have to report as eligible to catch the football. And without that, they're considered an offensive lineman and there to protect the passer. Um, at this point, number 68 clearly thought that he was eligible. Unfortunately, they didn't acknowledge him, and that's the one thing is they acknowledged 70 instead of 68. Maybe there was a communication mix up. Maybe they meant 68 and then said 70. But instead of going back and saying, oh yeah, right, oh no, we made a mistake, it's like we're going to stick with our guns. Even if it was that type of mistake, that is something that is left on the field. That's something that can't be overchanged. I mean, it was a bad call, and people give this ref group uh, a bad hit because of their reputation. They have called bad calls in the past. I mean, it's not the first ref group to make bad decisions. Trust me, there have been plenty of bad ref groups that have made bad decisions in the past. So this ain't the first time something like this has happened. But when it comes down to it, Dan Campbell should have made a better decision, and so should Mike McCarthy in this game. They both are at fault for this. If I was Mike, I would have ran the ball. Once I've got the football and it cost that Detroit use their timeouts, run the ball, and bring the clock down. Instead of giving them a minute and 45 or a minute and 41 when they got the football, they would have had lesser time if Mike McCarthy would have ran the ball instead of throwing it and then getting the field goal. Secondly, Dan Campbell had the know-all. Once that first attempt, okay, so I would have taken a step back and said, okay, so we can't get that 2 point conversion. All right, fine. We're 7 yards back. Let's hit the extra point. Let's send it into overtime. I know overtime has new rules where both teams get a shot at the ball, but still, it's overtime. Sudden death will eventually happen, or we could score and we can stop them. Regardless, there's a better chance to win the football game if we could send it into overtime. But the man, I give it to him because I do the same thing. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He was going to go for it regardless. He was going to get that 2 point conversion. And unfortunately, I mean, he got the yards back because of the neutral zone infraction by the Dallas Cowboys. Another mistake. So there's a lot of mistakes happening in this game on both sides of the ball. And here's the worst part about that. For the Cowboys, the ball was picked off, and that would have ended the game. But the man decided had a little bit too much, a little a little frisky at the line, and he jumped. So, neutral zone, back to the 2nd-yard line. All right. Dan was like, all right, let's do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna 2-point convert, and we're gonna win the game. I understand the man wanted to win the game, but sometimes you gotta take a step back, hit the extra point, and send it over to overtime. Because that's where it's going. There was no, but Dallas could not score with 23 seconds left on the clock. It would be a miracle if they did, but you could have sent the game into overtime, and there could have been a better chance to win the game. You would have more time, and you would have a chance to make some decisions on winning the football game. Now, I know a lot of you will look at me and say, well, Taxman, don't you have a dog in the hunt? Don't you have a dog in the hunt? Because you are picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl this year. And yeah, I'll admit that. I have picked the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. But let me let you on a little insight on that. You see this right here. This brain of mine says the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. But this thing right here, my heart of heart, want my Cleveland Browns to win. All right? My mind and my heart are at odds. Okay? I want the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl with my heart. Okay? But my brain and my eyes tell me the Cowboys have what it takes to win the Super Bowl. Okay? Same thing with Steve back there, who thinks the 49ers have what it takes to win the Super Bowl. Steve might be a little bit more biased than me because he's actually a 49ers player. If you can see, he's got the 49er helmet on. He's wearing the 49. Look at this. So you don't want to point the finger at somebody. Point the finger at Steve. Don't point it at me because I picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. But the other thing is, which I think is what needs to be having discussion. If the man had said, hey, even if it was 70 that came up to ref and says, hey, 68 is eligible. If 70 is if he's the captain or one of the captains of the team, isn't the referee supposed to acknowledge him as a captain and as a captain first and not a player? He comes up to the ref and says, hey, 68's going to be eligible. I understand there were like a couple other linemen around the ref, and they were trying to cause confusion in the Cowboys to see who would be the eligible receiver. But regardless, if the captain, I mean, we have no idea what happened. We will not have that idea. That is probably going to go to all three of their graves. They're probably going to keep that under wraps. Unless something came out and someone did say, well, I did tell him 68 was going to is reporting to, as the eligible receiver. I know sometimes people will do hand gestures to say, hey, I'm the eligible receiver. I'm reporting in. Regardless of what the ref did not see or saw or whatever, if the ref didn't acknowledge 68 as the eligible receiver, well, then we'll just have to call Roman. We'll call Roman Reigns and say, hey, Roman, he didn't acknowledge him, and Roman will go out there and he'll spear the guy. I had to bring wrestling into this, Steve. But then again, Roman would be like, he doesn't need to acknowledge him. He needs to acknowledge me. He still would spear the guy. So, yeah, let's give Roman Reigns a call and spear the ref. And that's really what we want to do. But, with that, I understand that that's going to bring Detroit down from 2 to 3. And we'll see where this goes. Regardless of how it ended, both the Cowboys and the Lions are still locked in to the playoffs. So that's the good thing about that. As long as they're still locked in the playoffs, and there's still one more game to play. And once that game is done, we will go into the playoffs. And like I said, we're going to take your team to the Super Bowl. I got my coach's hat. I'm ready to take your team through the playoffs and take your team to the Super Bowl. And don't forget to like, Don't forget to subscribe. And hey, I will see you in the next video.